Okay, happy Easter. It's Los Comics TV. I'm your host, Javier Hernandez. So this is a Easter egg special for everybody here on Easter. So whatever you do, Easter morning, Easter day, Easter evening, I got a new video for you right after posting the previous one, inking the El Muerto versus Conquistador page. So anyway, yeah, it's a fun Easter egg here. It's not an Easter themed video, but I did want to knock out another one. I was so excited about this book. So what I have here is some more manga. Not surprisingly, it's another one from Nagai, and this one in collaboration with another manga artist, Ken Ishikawa. Did I get that right? Ken Ishikawa, yes. A protege of his, apparently, from what I've read online. He started early on in Nagai's Dynamic Production Studios in the early 70s. And by 1976, they ended up working together on this really interesting, fun book called Azteckaiser, or depending on how you spell it, the way I've seen it written different places, Azteckaiser. So I'll go with that one for this video. It's a wrestling manga, believe it or not. So if you're a fan of wrestling, a fan of old manga, 1970s manga, particularly Go Nagai, I think you'll really dig this, because like I said, when I was reading this the other day, I got this in the other day, and I just looking through it, I was just like startled how fun it was, how it's outrageous, it's violent, it's crazy, it's hilarious, and it's pretty badass. So let's just start going through it. So what, from what I read, this was 3 different mangas collected in this volume. This is the 3rd edition of it. This was from 2001, I believe. So the original mangas came out in was it 76? And then there was 2 more, like 78 and maybe 79, 80, something like that. So I think, as far as I know, there was 3 different stories. And then they've been collected in different books, different collections. So this is, I believe, the 3rd collection of that collection. I think it's the biggest one too, size-wise. Again, it's one of my, me, I prefer the larger manga size whenever possible. Just easier to, like, I wouldn't say read it. I'm not actually reading them, but visually it's just nicer, right? It's bigger paper. So let's get into this. I'm not sure how the division of labor works, because I said it's by Go Nagai and another mangaka, Ken Ishikawa. I'm sorry, did I mispronounce it? I got another book here on this side. Yeah, Ishikawa. So, because when you look through it, initially it's Go Nagai's style. Makes sense, because the guy Ken, was an apprentice in his studio. So again, I'm not sure when it's a collaboration, like they both come up with the story, or did Go Nagai conceive the story and then the other guy helped flesh it out, and did Go Nagai handle the pencil side and the other guy the inking? It's difficult to tell when you can't read any of the background material because it's all in Japanese. But they're both credited as the creators on this. So yeah, here's the table of contents. So the first story we're going to look at is going to be the longest one. The second one is shorter, and then the third one is, like, by manga standards, it's about 25 pages. That's almost pretty unheard of, right? Because we know they serialize these things. Anyway, so from what I could tell online, the guy's name is Hoshi, our hero. Here he is. Here he is battling a big old gorilla out in the wild. He's got somewhat of a wrestling garb on, the trunks and the boots, and this cool metal headband. Yeah, fighting a gorilla. I mean, look at that. Slammed him right in the concrete, into the mountainside. Crazy, crazy. So, like I said, it's very Go Nagai style character designs. And it's really nice stuff. So, from what I can tell, there's also, like in a lot of Japanese manga, the successful ones, lucky ones, I guess, there was a live action TV show in the mid 70s on this, and so I watched the first episode, and I believe it's Hoshi's brother gets killed in the ring, by these bad guy wrestlers. Is it the Black? I think it's the Black Mist Federation, headed by this cool looking dude. And of course, I believe Hoshi comes out for revenge. Here he shows up at the ring when these guys are out there doing their thing. He's holding this mask, and here we are in the big arena with millions of people in the audience. This guy's pretty cool. That skull helmet. So yeah, from what I remember, this pretty much looks like the first episode. They want to take over the Federation. Isn't that funny? This super powerful villain guy, and not world conquest. It's more important to conquer the Wrestling Federation. So to some people, that is world conquest, I guess. So yeah, this guy's a real. I think his name is Lord Luar. Again, if you can believe Wikipedia. So our hero here decides to don the mask he was carrying and jumps in the ring in his street clothes. The cool thing about this, so Azteckaiser, the helmet, I guess, is powered by a mystic Aztec gem. That's all I know of the origin, so that's kind of neat. A little tie-in with the Aztec culture. But yeah, so he jumps in the ring and he starts beating the heck out of these guys, challenging them. There he is. And this cool guy comes in, his walrus head, with this huge tusk, kind of bites him in the back. Starts ripping up his clothes. And the tusks are growing longer. But our hero, right, he's holding him back, starts pulling him apart. I mean, look what it gets to. The guy looks in pain. He's literally pulled the tusk as far apart as possible. And he's going to proceed to pounce him. But the action in here is just so wild. I mean, you marry wrestling with comic book action, superhero action. I mean, they go hand in hand. So, of course, you're going to accentuate all the wrestling. Slamming him there. Some great wrestling holds. I don't know what they're called. I don't know what these are called, I'll be honest. I don't remember. Or some of them are like they're created just as a comic. But all these different holds. I love this one here. He's got his arm wrenched around the other guy's arm, stretching him here. And he's in hell of a pain, and his tusks have been broken off. And he's defeated. So there's our first match. That's a nice shot. The silhouette with the design of the mask highlighted in white. Grabs this guy by the nose. I like this little mystical face hovering above him. I like to think it's an Aztec deity or something, powered from that gem. So yeah, it's like he's talking some smack down here. Maybe even talking about super strength or something. I see there's anatomical renderings here. It's funny when we read manga, right? When we can't read Japanese, we just have to, as best we can, follow the story along. Then again, it's as good as the artist makes it. So we're getting a lot of interesting visuals in here that gives us some information. But here's Azteckaiser going foot to hand with Lord Luar. And of course, more minions come in. Look at that. That's beautiful. Wow. There's a big history of wrestling comics in Japan. I mean, this is like a whole genre. Much more than has ever been here, I think, in the U.S. So, and then wrestling itself has been pretty huge there in Japan. So that's the end of the chapter. Oh yeah, Azteckaiser also has a huge ass 3-wheeled motorcycle. Wow. This would be a great action figure toy, right? The huge bike and the, like the He-Man type build on this guy. Crazy stuff. So yeah, just a lot of wrestling, bad guy action. This misshapen dude here, look at that head. It's like, obviously we're the villains. But again, the dynamic drawing in here, the great character designs. There's a sense of wild fun, wild abandonment. You know, just go all out, go for broke. Here's the guy. Here's our hero riding the bike. Are people going to realize that him and Azteckaiser are riding the same bike? Will anyone care? Will anyone will it matter? Does it matter? No. We're just here to enjoy it, man. Now here he is decked out in his costume, which is it's a red bodysuit, if at least from the images from the TV show I've seen. It's interesting drawing. The face. Yeah, I don't want to go, too slow page by page because this will end up being an hour-long video. And we want to get you back to your Easter festivities. Look at this guy. He gets these three little henchmen and backflips, smashing their heads on the ground. That is pretty awesome. Again, just this guy's got grapplers for hands. Some bionics there, looks like. And here's Azteckaiser jumping on the bike. Had to use that little drawing there and on the end. So this is the third chapter. That's a nice drawing. Third chapter. This guy's great. That's a great looking villain. It's like an army of villains here coming out from this Black Mist organization. I love the way this guy looks. Here he is training. Training, right? After what he just did, you know, mopped up the floor with all those bad guys. Basically, still got to stay in shape and train. This guy reminds me of in the early mid-70s, in the Amazing Spider-Man comic, there was this weird character called the Mind Worm. He was a really short guy, large forehead, stringy hair. I think he had hypnotic powers, but that's what this guy reminds me of. It came out around the same time. This is of 76, I believe. Interesting. Yeah, I'm skipping some pages here because I do want to show you the other stories. But here we got some crazy action. It's like bugs are falling out of him. Like Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas. So yeah, the fight starts, right? The bad guys expose himself. Azteckaiser throws on his mask, right? I guess, yeah, because he's got his... I guess he gets powered from the mask if he gets powered from that Mystic Aztec Star Gem. So that makes sense. I'm gonna take a drink here. You can enjoy this crazy shot where they're on fire and he's flying away. Wow, look at that. The guy's all burned up and looks like he's gonna toss him in the ocean. Yeah, tossed him in the ocean. Wow, well, that got rid of that bad guy. Next. You know, it's funny. Here's the word Sony, but I see in so many comics and manga, you know, people don't use the word Sony. They change the last letter, like make it an I or something. Here it's Sony, so I always wondered about the legality of that. So what do we got here? We got a train. We got a guy running. Looks like he's running in front of the train. And this other guy jumps at the train. These guys look like Masters of the Universe characters, just like these big, bulky dudes. Jumps at the train, crashes through it. Oh my gosh. Wow. And we got to make sure there's innocent people in the train cars. Yeah. Derail the whole train. That's crazy. That is super crazy. But, you know, you go from cartoony to then super detailed. Right, you get the drawing team just spending hours doing all this inking and such, hatching, and wow, crazy. Here's the bad guy. Here's another cool bionic armed villain. But yeah, like I said, it's just an army of monster robot villains under the guise of a wrestling federation, and our main hero, Azteckaiser. Here we go, back to the fights. There's some good fight scenes here. Just bone crunching, a lot of wrestling moves, acrobatics. The winner, right? There's always a winner in wrestling. This little guy kicked him in the foot. So even our great hero Azteckaiser, you know, kick him in the shin when he's not expecting it, will do some damage. It's like okay, so some more characters attacking. It's a nice shot from the top here through the hallway. Great drawing, and this fantastic, one of those super detailed drawings there. Yeah, I really like that mix. You know, like you got these quick cartoony drawings, and you come to this really rendered, atmospheric drawing. There's our villain. Looks like he's got an army of guys there in these tubes. Don't know if he created them or just enhanced them. I love this. When I saw this is amazing. Hopefully it catches up on the camera, but see how these are drawn with a certain line weight? And then look at this drawing here. It looks like it was done with a marker. I mean, it just has a certain, you know, the line weight has they're all even throughout, like using the same marker. And then this very detailed drawing. This reminds me of, this looks like if it was almost like a quick rough draft. Like the rough draft this page, and again, this is just me speculating. It probably didn't happen. But it's like they almost, like, well, let's just use this drawing anyway. Let's not redraw it. Let's use this like cool rough draft marker drawing. But I'm sure they just drew like that for the effect. But that is amazing. So we're getting to the fight, I guess, with this guy. And this is Azteckaiser's team. This is this girl and this young kid. Oh, here we go. Oh, so he kidnaps the kid. Crashing through the window, though, there's our hero on the bike. Wow, that's great. Boom. And then you see the whole thing. That's a huge bike. That is one monster bike. Right, straight out of Mad Max. Complete with the spikes on the side. Popping out of the wheels. That's a great shot. And he grabs the kid. And wow. Wow, look at that. Slammed him with his foot right into the ground. And it was like, wow. Like it smashed his face open there. I guess he killed him. Or knocked him out. I told you this is a great book. You know, I'd only seen pictures online, so when I saw this for sale, you know, online, it's like, okay, let me grab this copy. It's the full set. I get all the stories in one shot, and it's like I said, it's a nice larger format, so it's perfectly made for me. The great design on this, right? There's a demonic character with the skull in one eye, and then an extra face in the forehead. That's a real menacing house. That barn, wow. So now we're hitting some demons here. And turns into Azteckaiser, and here he goes. Wrestling the demon. You wrestle with your demons? Well, he's got to wrestle with other demons. Oh, okay, looks like they caught him. Yep, they caught him. And they caught his friends here. It's not looking too good for a hero, right? Here comes the bionic guy, the cyborg guy. I love this shot when he's in silhouette here. And just his hands, because they're in the foreground, are lit. Oh, looks like the bike showed up on its own, of course, right? Bam. Yikes. Wow. So the bike hit him, exploded, including his head. And it's like the bike shot the chains open here. Wow, this is a nice layout. This huge center panel, and then these little... Oh, this is great. When Azteckaiser jumps, we got to get a close-up of his tips of his toes popping right in the guy's eye sockets, and of course, the after effect, the blood, the bloody, pulpy mess. And it's like the whole place blows up and goes to hell. And I love this angle. Wow. As he rides out. It's like a movie shot, right? Things are blowing up. Everybody jumps on the bike, and then he takes off. Wow. Beautiful. And yeah, the whole thing just blew up to smithereens. And yeah, there's yet another chapter. Yeah, this is, like I said, this is definitely the longest story of the three. So more adversaries. Needs more fights. And I guess, yeah, there's the main villain, right? He's got that skull helmet. So I guess that's like a video game. After battling all the minions, then you take on the boss. And just some great action here. Let's see, he flips him over. Looks like he broke his back, Batman Bane style. And, oh my gosh, yes. Lifts him up with the flip. Smashes him down, and it looks like he definitely shattered his spine for good. And there's the sunset. And that's it, right? Is that the... I always love this stuff, like, okay, in English, explanation, which gets you excited, right? It's like, oh, it's in Japanese, I can't read it. But anyway, so that's the first story, which was a hell of a story. So he ends up killing the villain. Here we go. So here's the second story again. I think it was a year or two later. You know, back to the wrestling. Looks like we're catching up on all the wrestling action. Here he is transforming to Azteckaiser. Bam. This is a beautiful drawing. Again, really thick line. Yeah, the Azteckaiser, the hero, secret identity, and then the villain. I guess that main villain might be back. I always think of John Byrne when I see these silhouetted cityscapes with the millions of little windows. I remember seeing those a lot in his X-Men and Iron Fist comics. Terry Austin inking it, I think, so it's a hell of a lot of work. It's a beautiful shot. And we got Batman flying in the scene here. Oh yeah, this is so it's like a press conference, right? Maybe some other match coming up. And of course, there's our Bat guy, crashes through the window. Oh my God. Gets this guy, chokes him, throws him out the window, and looks like drops him to his death. Oh, so of course he comes back in. He comes back in the building with the press conference, right? He's got something to say. I tell you, these evil villain wrestling organizations, they'll stop at nothing. So look, this guy's back. From what I read, that the three stories, they're not really connected. So, you know, the villain dies, the main villain dies in the first story. But who cares? New episode or new adventure, bring him back. I kind of like that. Sometimes here in the U.S., and I'm used to it too as a reader, you know, we're fixated on the continuity. Like, no, the guy died, he's gone. It's like a reboot. Here's this Bat Demon lifting this bus up. And then Lord Luar is back. Nice shot of a little neighborhood there, Japanese neighborhood. And here's Azteckaiser back in the ring fighting a big giant robot. This is something else, I tell you. Ah, look at that shot up on the bike. So this is this is one of the craziest things I've seen in this book when I looked at it. New Day, helicopters are carrying his wrestling ring. Love that. Up in the sky, news copters, I guess. And there's the ring. There's the helicopters. And I guess it's suspended, right? And I guess they're going to have some wrestling matches. There's another... Is that demon bat guy from the earlier part? So, coming to the scene here is on his super bike, Azteckaiser. Okay, so the skyscraper crashes through the doors, goes up the stairs, bump, 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 right, on that big old bike. Crashes through another door. I guess it's on the roof. So check this out. He's on the roof. A hang glider pops out from the back, real James Bond style. Was it Moonraker? When he had that little boat going off the cliff in Brazil, the waterfall. A few years before Moonraker act. No, actually, this might be around the time. Anyway, the bike crashes off the roof. There's our hang glider. There's our hero. This is one of the greatest entrances ever. He's on the hang glider. Look at that, way up in the sky. And the bad guys who are on that floating wrestling ring, they see him. And boom, he lands right there in the ring. Look at that. Is that one of the greatest ring entrances ever? They're wrestling on a suspended ring up above the city with the helicopters. That is nuts. Here's that tusk trick again. All those times it's horns. So Azteckaiser grabs him, flips the guy over, and the fight has started. Again, this is so outrageous. It's so beautiful. It's like it's outrageous as something Jack Kirby would come up with. You just go for broke. Oh wow, there's an authentic wrestling move, and he spins and spins and spins, and bam, right on the mat. This bus, I think, is going to be dropped if somebody loses. I think that's how that works. So yeah, he runs into the ring, to the ropes. Yeah, there he goes, bounces right up to the helicopter, crashes through the window. Oh man, this is just nuts. So awesome. And the guys get thrown out, or they jump out. I think they're jumping out. And the villain, so it's like he saved the bus. Yeah, is that it? What's this? Uh-oh. Sabotage here at this plant. That was a great scene of demolition there. Oh my God, it's terrible. Wow. Look how effective that is, though. The flames, and then the way they did the smoke or the debris, just millions of stipple dots. Wow, that's a great image there. He must be the villain. Look at him. Wow. So, oh my God, there's a lot of carnage going on here. Jeez. So here's Azteckaiser. Look at that. It's another great shots with this bike. Look at those handlebars. They swoop all the way up and over. Getting attacked. He's got those Wolverine ninja claws. Boy, man, yeah, the fight scenes in here are just great. Oh, it's like he cut his own partner's head off. Azteckaiser ducked. Oh my gosh! Close your eyes, folks. Azteckaiser punches him in the gut. Fist goes inside. He rips out his guts. Wow. This is crazy. What was that manga? Ricky O. About this street fighter kid who just beats the heck out of everybody in prison, and entrails are flying. Man, this is so crazy. Yeah, always thwarting every lackey that the bad guy throws at him. And it's like he's got so he's got his friends there, his group of friends, hostage again, or innocent people. Wow. Oh, and here we go. So yeah, once again, the villain, back from the dead from the previous episode, he's gonna fight. Oh, this is great. It's like Batman and Joker, right? Always at it in eternal combat. Locking up. So he's gonna rake his face. Wow. Oh, he ripped the mask. Ripped the mask, just like in a real wrestling match. He kicks the rest of the mask off, so now he's unmasked. But there's no audience around, so it's okay. Which means he'll really have to kill this guy. He must keep that identity secret. It's more important for wrestlers than superheroes. Man, this is like these guys are like gods, right? Like Hercules and I don't know, Thor going at it. Again, all under the pretext of a wrestling comic. Really great. Again, sorry for rushing it here. There's one more story, and I do want to try to wrap it up. Let's try and do like a short Easter egg for you guys today. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, okay. Grabs the guy here. That's a great shot with the black, the black field there around him, spotlighted there with that. Oh man, shooting back down to Earth. There is a spike there, of course. Yikes! I like this. The spike, and then you see his head, his expression, and then you see what happened. It's a nice 1, 2, 3. Wow! Look at this. Wow. Oh my gosh. He drove him right down to the spike, and it comes out the guy's bottom half. Man, that is crazy. Wow, look at that. Wow, that is very Go Nagai. And jumps on the bike, and he's out of there. Cue the music, right? Cue the end theme song. So great. Wow. Yeah, and then that's the last story, and then that's the second story, end of it. And here's the last story, the real short one. It's like 25 pages. Azteckaiser, once again, so he's got a new look. He's got the mask, but he's got the bandaged upper half. That's kind of an interesting look. Yeah, another wrestling ring arena. Another match going on here. Oops. Hey, guess who shows up again? Lord Luar, right? Now in a more of a Batman type costume than ever, with the gray and then the black bat. I love that. It's so great. So yeah, the bad guy here starts beating the hell out of everybody. I guess he wants to take on this champion. And wow. I can rip his face off here. Wow, that's insane. I mean, we've all seen bloody wrestling matches. Oh, here we go. We've seen this before, right? Rips his hand in the guy's gut. And he's an evil bad guy because he's cackling about it. Wow. So there's another match here. And a boxing match. I imagine these, and then, oh, this is a football. I imagine these might be Lord Luar's soldiers, right? Taking over all the different sports leagues. That might be what that is. Which is a great idea. I love the idea of taking over all the sport leagues with his individual assassins. But of course, all comes to a stop. Azteckaiser shows up. And jumps in the ring. And proceeds to, oh, wow. Wow. Now he's got eyes popping out. Too crazy. So now it's sending all the bad guys. Everybody attack. Somehow you don't think they're going to win though, right? There's our guy Azteckaiser beating the hell out of everybody. Ah, look at these great villains. Great looking villains. Oops, let's see here. Looks like he got stabbed from behind. I guess he got shot with these spikes by one of these goons. Scary, because I'm coming to the last few pages. So it's going to be time to wrap for them to wrap all this up. Yeah, so I guess these guys' specialty is shooting out these spikes. Not looking too good here for Azteckaiser. And of course I speak too soon. Get to the action, right? Look at these whirlwind battles here. Oh my gosh, literally whirlwind. Wow. What is he doing here? It's like causing a tornado or something. That's crazy. Wow, he's really mopping up the floor with these guys. Oh, okay, so Lord Luar is pissed off, rips off his cape there. Dun dun. It's going to be these two guys, but guess what? That's the end. Is that crazy? That's an ad for something else. That's a trippy ending. But as we know, we've already seen it twice. He's probably going to kick his ass and then repeats again later. That is wild. Like I said, as far as I know, there was just those 3 stories. So that's the last one they did. But boy, I'm exhausted just like going through this again. It's such a great book. So Azteckaiser by Go Nagai and Ken Ishikawa. 1976 was the first one. And then it was followed. There was the TV show came out around the same time. The live action show, you can see some of them on YouTube. I'll put a link to one of the episodes at the bottom of this video. But it's a half hour, I think, live action. Cool, the same costume. Except in some of the wrestling scenes, it turns into like maybe a 1 minute of animation. So you get to see the fights. I mean, they're good fights in the the live action, but when they do the animation, it's that really early 70s. Real kind of like that Devilman style, where it's kind of scratchy and rough looking. I love it with these psychedelic backgrounds. So you get about a minute or two of animated wrestling scenes in these episodes. But anyway, that was it. Again, just part of my little Easter gift to everybody here tuning in for the Easter episode. So thank you, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day. And come back to the next Los Comics TV. We'll have some more stuff for you. Thanks.